Ever heard of the popular Nigerian Yahoo Boys? Named after the search engine that first provided free email accounts. Recently, hundreds of alleged online scammers have been arrested in a raid at a luxury office block in Nigeria that investigators said was operating as a multi-story hub for romance and cryptocurrency frauds. Anti-corruption officials said that the operation in Lagos, Nigeria was their biggest ever roundup of Yahoo Boys. Most of the 792 suspects are Nigerian, but 148 Chinese and 40 Filipinos were among the foreigners who investigators said were recruiting and training local people. Nigerian accomplices were recruited by the foreign kingpins to prospect for victims online through phishing, targeting mostly Americans, Canadians, Mexicans, and several others from European countries. Once the Nigerians are able to win the confidence of would-be victims, the foreigners would take over the actual task of defrauding the victims. Images of the operation at Big Leaf Building on Victoria Island showed a vast call center had been set up for teams working shifts to snare victims across all time zones via social media and messaging platforms. Once targets were seduced by a sham romance, they were pressured to transfer money for fake cryptocurrency schemes and other non-existent investments, investigators said. As officers seized cars, computers, phones, and stashes of SIM cards, rows of suspects sat in the building's car park waiting to be ferried into custody. The arrests on December 10th, after months of surveillance, underscored the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to rooting out corruption and criminal gangs. Romance fraud has existed for centuries, but social media and online dating have led scams to become more sophisticated and frequent. Many cases are linked to Nigeria, where corruption is endemic and opportunities are scarce for its young, tech-savvy population. Christine Brown, a British pensioner, traveled to the West African state last year to recover £20,000 that was stolen by a Nigerian conman posing as an American entertainer. Brown, 71, petitioned the agency that carried out the operation after losing her life savings in transfers, Bitcoin, and gift cards to a fraudster calling himself John Barrowman. In Britain, reported incidents rose by 20% last year, though because some are embarrassed at being duped, the crime is underreported. In a third of the 8,792 reported cases, fraudsters using fake social media pictures and profiles spent more than a year using various tactics to win their victims' trust. The National Fraud Intelligence Bureau, NFIB, run by the City of London Police, said, British victims are being robbed of about £100 million each year. Men were more susceptible to scammers than women, accounting for 52% of victims, though women tend to lose more money. £9,083 on average, compared with £5,145 for men. Those aged between 55 and 64 are the most likely to be conned, though those aged over 65 tend to lose more money, according to analysis of customer data by Lloyds Bank. Those arrested would soon appear in court. The investigation would expose the exaggeration that Nigerians are expert fraudsters. The locals arrested had no idea which company they were scheming for, had no letters of appointment, and were typically paid in cash or from a personal account. Foreigners are taking advantage of our nation's unfortunate reputation as a haven of frauds to establish a foothold here to disguise their atrocious criminal enterprises, one of the investigators said. Subscribe for more updates on this story. And of course, this happened in Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria.